what I just said. It's already they're in cruise control. We're good.
They're already there.
Scary. Scary. Yeah.
I love it, man. Drakes, they're just tearing it up. It's crazy to me.
That's what we do.
It really is just how good that they have consistently been. There's a lot of powerhouse players there, and well, here we are, right, going into game number 6, starting off with Skullface, Ahsoka, and crew, who won game number 5 just a little bit earlier with 21 eliminations. That put them well up the leaderboard, and they are looking to break even their record from last week, where they managed to get 2nd place. Can they overtake Biffle? Honestly, at this point, Biffle's still leading. No surprise with the consistency, but first place is highly contested today.
Yeah, if Biffle and company don't get a victory royale again for the rest of today, there's a good chance they get overtaken, but they just need, again, we've talked about it time and time again, top 3 finish, placements is the most important thing with a multiplier, a couple of eliminations, you're probably good to go. Regardless, for this squad, trying to move back into, I think, around the top 3, I think they were just bumped out. If not, still, one of the more consistent trios we've seen for 2 weeks now. Remember, this is a squad that really came up late in the surge at the end of week 1, had a huge placement, and helped with their overall points going into this second event. They have really impressed and stayed consistent. One of the, I guess you call, underdogs in the entire roster of players we've had. This whole trio has really stepped up.
So they choose to land over, I believe, I think at Maw, if I'm not mistaken. So Maw is going to be a pretty decently contested area, but also not the hottest drop. I think the hottest drop, from what I've been noticing, is over by Stadium, where TBE is currently at, because you got Sean J over there. I believe you got Empathy, who's over there. You've got quite a few very talented trios, so that's most likely going to be the most competitive. But even now, right, you got Unrational, Scum, and Gorgo Knights, who are quickly working their way up, currently 2nd place, which is a huge surprise to me, not because I doubt them, but because last week they weren't doing as well as they are this week. And again, that could be because they were playing in World Series of Warzone, but this week they're star-studded.
And all it takes is one good game and a couple of consistent placements, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the money. Steps a ring around the corner. Good shots from Gorgo Knight. Make it 1. Teammates working and doing damage on the other side. But never mind, they will be taking that damage.
It's a give and take. It's a give and take. Gorgo and Rational. Unrational is, I believe, a little bit further down. Gorgo by himself gets hit by an absolute apartment complex. Taken down. That happened so quick, even he was a little bit stunned after that. I don't know if he had any plates on, but Unrational now, we go onto his perspective. And I believe this was right before Gorgo ended up falling. And he's going to go ahead and pick up a 2-play, which is going to be great for him to have. So now at this point in time, for Unrational, it's just loot up, kit up, and they get ready to fight that team that took down Gorgo just a little bit earlier. And they will fight. They will fight.
That's what we want to see. Track falls. Flank for 1. Looking for the 2nd. Great dodge as well. And the snakes are always going to be snaking, but you know what? It works out. Can't hate it. It's got to get better with it.
That's it.
Well, it looked like you might be able to clean up that 2nd elimination. I think that player dipped out of dodge just in time. Regardless, though, off to a hot start. Might have ran into 1, but makes it work regardless.
Forget who it was. It was CDL Pro during the season. If you're not snaking, you're not winning. It's kind of
like... Sounds like Celium.
it might have been. You know, I mean, but that's a factual statement,
it's
man.
True.
If you're not snaking, you know, when it comes to MW2 or Warzone 2, like, you're not winning. It's just so effective.
Yeah.
But here we are, Space Smixy, right? They've had some struggles the past couple of games, and it's been because of their initials, and they're once again in an initial. Flaked is down. We saw Smixy a little bit earlier throwing a drill charge. Attract is down. That, to me, means Smixy needs to stay up. She needs to stay up.
Yep. And again, this trio gets caught in a precarious situation. How many times early game have they struggled with escaping the opening pressure? Whether or not they do, it usually led to they're kind of out of position, and then they have to really work overtime to get back into a groove late game. This is going to be a tough one to fight through. One of the rare times we've seen Aydan and company on your screen. Adrian, the newest addition, again, towards this trio.
Loadout crate right here.
A huge opportunity for them here in Game 6.
Yeah, I see that. Right here.
I love this trio. Qualified for World Series Warzone Global Finals in September at the Copperbox Arena. And like you said, Adrian, that new addition, I mean, to come in and play and be as young as he is, and then to play alongside the the long-standing duo of Aydan and Raiden is a big deal, but kind of overstays his welcome, shooting, hitting some good shots, but gets dropped himself halfway for the self-revive. He's going to just go ahead and pop it. You can tell he wanted to maybe hold off a little bit so his teammate can get up there, raid it, and res him, but it just wasn't worth the risk. Then you have to respawn. Go ahead and use it. Maybe you get another one. You can buy another one, but keep your head on a swivel and start firing at the players down in the water.
Yeah, you do get the spread that's quite nice from this trio. Aydan so far out, and the danger there is if he gets caught, there's not going to be enough to be able to go help him out regardless, though. You do get the revive thanks to Resurgence. So you can afford to kind of invest some of your numbers out. You can afford to get a little aggressive.
Yep.
You don't want to do it too often, though.
No.
I'm coming.
Like if you get overly reckless, or should be overly aggressive, it turns into recklessness. Nobody ever wants that. There's a fine line, a fine balance that you have to have in competitive gaming.
This late in the tournament, too, man, just not worth it, you know.
No, especially with like top 5 as close as it is. I mean, you mentioned 1 kill, comes down to 1 kill. There were teams who didn't qualify for World Series Warzone because of 0.1 points. I mean, that is less than a kill. Like that's an additional, placement point, and it's the same applies here. But this is a common sight, man. Swagg, Z Colors, Super Evan. We've seen some glimpses of great plays from them, but for the most part, they get into these fights and they just seem to fall apart. And I can't quite pin why that is yet, but maybe it is that they are too aggressive because they love to push. They push hard, but maybe they just need to taper that off a bit and play a little bit more methodically.
Really interesting case study we could do on this trio.
It's true.
For like just how things have gone for them is, again, Swagg will drop. Evan's up in 30. Z Colors has to be very, very careful here. If they go out, you're basically kissing away your opportunity to fight for even top 5 here.
Yeah, he's not going to move.
He shouldn't.
Smoke or something to grab it.
Hit the chest if you can.
I don't want to peek. It's outside on the balcony, bro.
Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
In front of you too.
Yeah, just play time.
I would.
You're good. Just save it.
Somebody's on the balcony. Evan didn't have a bad idea. Like, see if you can hit a chest, get a smoke, you can disengage, but this was the right play, and he gets his teammates back in. So good job. Sometimes the best play is to do nothing.
Yeah. Discipline is huge. Oh, this is one of our winning teams today. In Game 3, it was only 15 eliminations overall, 5 apiece for every single member. Not a huge, in terms of like just elimination count, it's actually one of the lowest. We started Game 1 last week with 19 from Lula and company. 15 for Zlaner squad, which, again, is enough to get them a victory. The multiplier helps, but you could see in the leaderboards earlier that it didn't really help them in the standings because they just didn't have enough for the multiplier to really kick in.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is like, what's a victory worth if you're not picking up eliminations?
Sure.
You're only going to get so far, and you notice on your top 10s to the left here, Destroy's team isn't there currently, but I don't think they're that far away either from breaking in and maybe even passing that of Juki's, which there's Juki's, right? I kind of brought him up a little bit earlier. 4th place last week. Juki's playing with 4 and Jace. Vision was at least last week, and how has that roster been doing? Are they getting any better? Well, they've got to try to get up the 4th to at least match their performance from last week with the Visions, and 10th place just isn't going to do it. But all eyes on Destroy for the current time being, and they're going to be playing the edge of the zone, getting kitted up, and UAV is going to be popped. A lot of choices, a lot of lanes they can choose. It's just a matter of which one do they want to go for.
And I always love doing just quick picks over with Zlaner and Destroy, because Zlaner, I mean, it always feels like every gunfight he's in is like the last gunfight they need to win the game. It's always the most chaotic, but they usually are able to work through it. Clutch Belk will fall. Zlaner is out, but he's coming back just momentarily. On his way. It feels like they're maybe not in the best position they want to be in, having to use a smoke to invest to get across. Not going to do so for free.
Yeah. Well, the issue they have, Space, is like they've got to cross the river, you know, and it's like, do you go into water, which is now their only choice they have because they can't stay in the gas. So, I mean, it was just, they didn't want to rotate in, too early because they had teams just absolutely pinning them down. Oh, no way! That is going to be gifted towards him. If he can pick it up, we've got a battle, a punching fest in the water, and he'll pick up one. Destroy gets absolutely gifted an elimination. He's going to be on a 5-kill streak, and by the grace of the Warzone gods, they find some respite inside the building. Good on them.
That is quite literally a gift from the COD gods. You do not get that often, if ever, on rotation, especially with a player just essentially working under you and giving you a free lane into the spot that you wanted anyway.
Nah, I think you land maybe near us.
And now you can kind of slow down the patience and the pacing of this team. But with how electric they've been in the comms, with how much is riding on this squad, given the fact they put up 15 eliminations, found the victory in game number 3. This game 6 matters so much, closing out today. It all comes down to a couple of gunfights that could go their way. Let's jump into a listen in with the trio.
Yep, I'm staking. Come up. Right here. Got you, baby. Got you, baby. I got him. Smoking. Here's, please.
I need plates, man.
Okay. Right here, look. I dropped 2.
We're good.
I dropped 2 for you. Yep. Z, can you drop me your money? I'll get us an armor box. Do you have a smoke or no?
I don't have a smoke.
I don't have a smoke.
I got the armor box inside.
Come here. Yeah. I want to lurk this right side, or you want to stay here? I don't want
for a sec.
that team up top's gonna be focused on us.
Yeah, if we go that side, I agree.
Look at all this space.
Yeah, we could get to that guy. Oh, yeah, I like this. I'm with you.
I'm coming. I need a light ammo.
Here. Light right there.
Redeploy player.
Thank you.
Look at zone pool. Did we get a UM here? Yep.
What'd you say, CB?
500, he's gonna pop us a U.
Come on.
Go right. I'm with.
Yes, focus. Look at the UAV. Just take a good scan at that.
Yeah, we have to get in.
Rotate. Can we just get bottom of like City Hall?
Come on, yeah, the faster the better.
Or we can work in these.
Yeah, I'm following back, and we're just gonna get in.
I'm just looking at options. I'm looking at
Love it.
Look at that green mark.
Okay, I see that. I would like that.
Maybe that green mark.
It's bad.
No? Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
Follow me.
We get inside.
I'm with you, CB. Put us in a power spot, baby.
Dropping into the AO.
CB.
Behind me, can chow.
There's two.
I got one cracked.
We don't have to push that.
Knocked.
Oh, I like this now.
Yeah, they're getting pinched.
On me. Smoke.
I'm inside.
20. Dead. Got him.
Come inside. Come inside, see?
I can't yet. I got you. Hold on.
Okay. He's low.
I got you, D.
Love it.
Bullet. Hey, full kit. I got a thing on my body. Players on my body.
Yes, D.
Players on my body.
I have one knocked inside, D.
I'm looking for it. I don't see the flare.
I think he took it. Fuck.
Come in. Call in. Z, have a medic, please.
I am as quick as
I'm doing it here. It's okay.
Yes.
Yep.
You have enough for a res too. If you
I'm gonna
want.
get this
Just
flare.
go
I'm looking for it.
He took it. I think he took it. And I heard him shoot it up.
I don't have smokes.
Look at this. God, look at these guys here. I have one knocked above, D.
Wow. I mean, if you ever wanted to hear how the brains of 3 just generals are working in Warzone, this is the way to do it. You talk about having options from Zlaner, giving constant callouts. You talk about quick decisions from Destroy moving in and finding those kills. And in the end, it's just constant ebb and flow of these comms. Just like, all right, I like that. I like this play. Now we can start to move. Now we can start to make the rotation. Just a masterful execution across the board.
And a constant reassurance, like, I got you, don't worry about it. Hey, I'm going to pick up the elim. You know, just the confidence they have in each other to have each other's back is truly phenomenal. The only tense moment was when Destroy was, by himself, and then he was forced to try, or at least he was told to go for the flare gun so he can get the revive. He couldn't find it. I believe one of the teams that they were fighting ended up getting it and quickly getting out. But Destroy is on fire. Heck of a game coming out from this man. Currently 8 eliminations, and a large majority of that coming from those tense moments that we just saw a little bit earlier in the listen-in.
Look at these freebies, Z.
I mean, you go from the most hectic rotation possible to a free kill in the water to another rotation that works out through smokes and gunshots, and then a team fight inside, and Destroy still roaming looking for this kill, working through the gas for the moment. We'll find another. 8 eliminations to his name. Destroy and Zlaner just absolutely lighting it up.
He's under us.
They are.
Whew.
It'll be a bigger game even than they had before. I mean, honestly, they need it. 15 eliminations I felt was pretty low for this roster, though. Destroy finds a player, but there's the teamwork. You got teammates for a reason, and Zlaner picks up the slack to repay Destroy's efforts just a little bit earlier as he stayed alive for the longest time, and that puts Destroy up to 9. Zlaner, who knows where he's currently sitting at, but this is a great game. We're now down to 8 trios. That multiplier, 1.8 time space with the amount of elims that this trio is going to have. I mean, absolutely top 10 performance.
That's not a duo I want to face in the late game. How much chemistry they've had since the inception of Warzone. If there's anybody who's going to pull it off, a late game push and a potential victory, it might be them. Soka in the water, very weak. Skullface as well. This team's kind of caught where Aydan and company were just a game ago. Make it 2 or so. All right. And they are just trying to work through the chaos.
That's it. I mean, that's all. I mean, it's going to be chaos. Moving zone's going to be right behind them. They've got to swim through the water to get onto the other side, and they're already well ahead of the game. Skullface made a great play hopping onto that tugboat. He gets a precision airstrike, which he just pops off to kind of alleviate some of that pressure just so he can get away. But for his Soka, unfortunately, he's down, but he's getting back into play. But you never want to be in the water, but I guess in this moment, it is worth it. Skullface picks up yet another elimination. That's going to be on Destroy. So Destroy, through all that effort, goes to the water, runs into Skullface, and loses his life. Zlaner, though, I believe is still up.
Oh, they did so much work just to, again, test the water one more time. And Skullface, with the patience, understood somebody's probably going to rotate.
Got in the water and we didn't see him.
No, I was in the water. Oh, right side, my water.
They're looking for the last one. Beautiful placements in the final zone. Just need one more wipe to do it, and they will get it. 25 eliminations. Wow. And back-to-back wins as well. That is huge.
Huge space. Absolutely massive. You go 21 eliminations. Now you get 25 in the first team. Space to win back-to-back games.
Man.
At a time where it matters most, because Biffle was looking so strong as they normally do. Where were they this game? Didn't talk about them that much, right? It was all Destroy, Zlaner, right, popping off. And mind you, still a wonderful, wonderful game from them that could very well still put them in top 10. But the big storyline, Hisoka, back-to-back games, 46 eliminations across 2 games.